Hello and welcome back to blackgirlcouch Reviews. I'm your host Christina. We are back for another episode of Southland. This is the finale of season 1, episode 7, entitled Derailed. It was written by Ann Baderman and directed by Christopher Chulak. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. A lot of action, a lot of Detective Lydia Adams having to step up, but you know, we have some resolution, so to speak, on the Janilla situation. And even a background storyline got brought to the forefront for some of our characters. So let's not beat around the bush. Let's go ahead and jump into it. But before we do, wherever you're listening to this, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, go down to that rating section, drop a few stars, leave a review. Very much appreciated. My social media will be there as well. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you can also send feedback for Southland and any other show that we do at blackgirlcouch@gmail.com. So we're going to break this down between some of the arcs. Like, I'll start with Chickie and Dewey first, because they were pretty basic and one of the worst story arcs. I didn't realize how much I hated Dewey or remembered or recalled how much I hated Dewey. I guess we're supposed to feel some empathy for him, but he just comes off as a bad officer. You know, he leaves the bar and he immediately goes into his car and begins to put on his uniform. You know you're a piece of shit when even the drunkest of drunks is shaking their head at you.
You fucking crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
He somehow thought a breath mint was going to hide the fact that he's been drinking all night. Chickie has had it. She has had enough. They get to it's also Memorial Day weekend. They get to a crime scene where Ben and Cooper are also called to, where there is a body of one of the men that was ordered to kill Janilla. Marta was questioning him in her home. And I don't know why he either knew he was about to get shot or just didn't care, because he was like, bitch, it's hard to kill that bitch. Then he called her then she go call her a big girl, like her ass ain't a roly-poly Oompa Loompa her damn self. But when you have power and a whole bunch of men that's willing to shoot you on sight, I guess that's don't have to worry about that. So yeah, they kill him for his failure and dump him in a chest, and they find that body. This definitely derails everyone's Memorial Day plans, except that Chickie and Dewey don't have any. They end the episode with him deciding to trap her in the backseat of the car while going on a wild goose chase with himself, mind you, before flipping said car, injuring significantly both of them.
You're fucking fired, Bob!
I did like when Ben, and we get a little bit of how it works, where he's like, look, I'm willing to cover your ass as long as it doesn't cost my job. And if you're saying it's enough, you've gotten to the point, then you need to turn him in or I will. So at the end, they rushed to where she was desperately needing help, and they were able to say he's going to get the help that he needs. I'm like, he just needs to be fired. There's no help for him. He's an alcoholic. He has a problem, and he doesn't need to be having a gun and a badge while he's dealing with said problem. That's just what it is. I don't know why he didn't retire. I don't understand how he was retiring one minute and the next minute he wasn't, but that's because he doesn't have anything else. We then go to the other storyline, which is Sal and his teenage daughter Kimmy. This was really around the I'm terrified of what my child is doing on the internet phase. I can definitely He's on Facebook, like, what's sexting? And then he realizes his daughter is going to a rave. He's upset because he invites, what's his name? Russ over for a barbecue. Like, your wife misses you. She's not going to say it, but we're going to communicate through our wives, which is so silly. And suburban life. And his daughter is out there like, yeah, I got plans for the weekend. And dad's like, no, you're going to hang out with me and the family because it's a family holiday. And mom's like, she said she had plans. I trust her. I laughed at his response. You trust her? I ain't doing that shit. So when he finds out that she's at a rave, he loses his shit. She's under the influence of drugs. She doesn't want to go with him. Luckily, 2 of his detectives went with him to be able to calm his very voracious male temper. So silly. This whole, I want to control my daughter for everything. It just feels a little silly. All kids are going to go through some phase at some point. But I guess the whole point is that you got to let them come home. And that's what eventually he does. He's like, look, I'm just going to go back to do what I do. You know what? This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. I'm going to have to accept it. And I have to catch you when you fall. Because the more I try to stop you doing it, the more harder you're going to get into all of this. And eventually she does come home and she is remorseful. And that was their arc the whole entire season. Why don't you love me, Daddy? Russ and his wife make up. I'm totally not into this relationship whatsoever. I feel like he just came home because he was bored. It's like, I got my point across. I don't want to actually break up right now. And I want you to miss me. And everybody's trying. But I also felt like it was a peer pressure. Like, even Sal's like, you got to come home. You can't do this. Everybody misses you in the neighborhood. It seems like more of a status and a ideal than an actual, yeah, these two people really love each other. But they did make up. And unfortunately, at the end of the episode, Russ finds himself going to confront the neighbors, which we've been hearing all season in the background, arguing with each other. Even Sal said, this is disrespectful. I'm going to go over and talk to them about it. Unfortunately, when Russ decides he's going to talk to them about it, the husband has had enough, shoots Russ twice in the chest before shooting his wife and then himself. God damn! All because he lost his job. You know how many jobs people lose? But when you're living that type of, a lifestyle, and it's more about classism than it is about the fact that I lost a job, I can get another one. He's just miserable all around. I'm sure it's not just the classism, but I'm sure that's part of it. So yeah, that took a very dark turn at the end of the season. Because now we don't know if Russ is going to live or not. Everyone heard the shots, but fireworks are going off. So it's like, all of the officers there, they're like, yeah, that's gunshots. I know what gunshots sound like, but you live in the neighborhood that you live in. You don't expect to hear that. There was talk about people owning guns in this episode as well. And I thought it was ironic that, she made the comment, that's why we don't have guns in the house. And you see the very tumultuous relationship between Sammy and Tammy. And she doesn't have a gun in the house. And it's probably a good thing. Because either she would accidentally shoot him or he might lose his shit and shoot her. They also have a very dysfunctional relationship. Speaking of Sammy, let's get to the meat of the episode. He's watching Janilla. He's concerned because Marta has been released from jail, which this pisses him off. She eventually goes off with her boyfriend. And, it's a typical kid thing. She's away from her friends, her family, her grandma's in the hospital. So they're not upset with her. They're just, he knows this is her acting out, but not because she's, willfully, well, she is. It's just she's a teenage kid, and she kind of doesn't get the full gravity of what she's doing because she's more romanticizing it, and she wants to make these two men that she, admires happy. So she's ingratiating herself, and she kind of doesn't fully grasp exactly, even after what happened to her grandmother, you would think. But that's how kids are, man. They're resilient. They bounce back way quicker, and it's so easy as an adult to just be like, oh, they should just know better. But I don't not remember when I was a child. And some of the absolutely stupid things you do based on emotion, because you're not rational. You actually don't get rational until you're like 22 years old. You're not a rational person. So I know it's, you might have been raised differently or so on and so forth in different part where you had to grow up that quickly. But most people are just kids, and the world is the world. And, you've been people tell you the same thing from the time you're 3 years old, and you make it till 15. You're like, it is what it is at this point. Can't stop living my life. So the boyfriend, however, is working for Marta, because Sammy and Nate, they both find her, pick her up. He yells at Tammy, which I thought was a valid yelling at her. And he even said, no, it's not your fault, because she just goes off, doesn't answer her phone. He needed her to take care of her. And he's like, look, I had to give her off to another detective because you were not available. And she's all like, I was going to go to dinner with you, but now I'm not. And even after he apologizes, she still hangs up on him. Ugh.
Go suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick. Suck a dick, suck a huge or small.
You can take the hoe out the streets or the trash out the streets, but they still gonna be trash. She's just so unsupportive, living off of him. It's ridiculous. Tammy is a whole piece of dirt. But at the same time, Sammy also doesn't treat her like she's an adult. He really just needs to leave her. Like at the end when I saw them on the couch, I'm just like, fuck that. She should be like, oh my God, the person you were trying to save almost died. There's nothing that she has to give to him, and it's annoying. But after he picks her up, I would have been like, who you calling? He goes over, the boyfriend, Marcus or Marquise, he goes over to Marta's. He's like, why I gotta go inside? They put him in the chair. He's like, look, I want to show you my tattoo. Trust no bitch. I'm a bitch.
Answer me that with your dumb ass. Don't be quiet now.
Men are stupid, but he trying to be all tough and act tough. Like, look, nah, no disrespect. Nothing I'm trying to say. You gave me your product. I sell it. It's working good. That's usually not how this relationship goes. But good. I like where we're going. He's like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you this girl. And she's like, you better. I'm going to kill your whole damn family. So he ends up automatically, because she was already texting him. I would have blocked her phone or blocked the number somehow. And he shows up at the house because they dropped her off at Lydia. Lydia was out with one of her friends doing her jogging thing. She was going to go to a barbecue. Y'all ruined her whole weekend plans, but Lydia is the best. So she said, yeah, I'll take this little ungrateful heifer in. And then she tries her best to try to make her feel better. Like, let me go to the store. We can have our own barbecue. We don't have to go to someone else's. She really perked up when she heard movies, even though she was watching them in black and white. And I was like, who watches movies in black and white? She seemed to be enjoying herself. But Lydia is not happy because she gonna say, I live here. Because they did send over patrol so that, Lydia would have some extra backup. Ben and Cooper are the ones that first are up to provide that. But he says, let me see how I can work it out, because he really wanted to get to his non-girlfriend Daisy's concert that night that she kept calling him to ask if he was going to go to. But she meant to actually call him all day and say, I'm breaking up with you. I'm going back to New York. I'm talking to this other dude. She played the shit out of him. Like, come on. That was horrible. That was terrible. But I guess this is the kind of, thing you're dealing with. Because he seemed to have a thing for her for a long time. And she straight just railroaded over his heart. Like, when she needed someone to be there for her, that's what he was. And then the minute she felt better, it was time to go back to her life. And that's fucked up. But the Janilla situation rackets up. Because first, she's like, you ain't happy about this, but fine. Then, they're making up the bed. They're watching TV. And Lydia sees some lights outside her house. And she automatically on it because she knows that this girl is wanted. She knows what the situation is. She says, let me go to the kitchen. She goes to the kitchen, comes back with her water. But she must have just felt the black girl, the black woman fear or whatever that is. You know how someone's trying to act like things are fine, but you're like, no, they're not. No, they're not. She sees some more lights and she heads back upstairs immediately to her safe to get her big ass gun, which I love that she had in her safe. Janilla's right there already like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I know something's going on. She puts her in the bathroom, gives her the gun and says, look, you gotta shoot if someone comes in. She goes down. Oh, this scene was intense. They in your house? She shot, luckily your mama wasn't there. She shot the one dude, took him out at the bottom of the stairs, and she went downstairs to check around. Someone else snuck in. They was all the way upstairs. They even got to the bathroom where Janilla was, and he was like, you gon' shoot me, puta? Which is bitch. And then he gets shot for his troubles. She's like, lock the door behind me. I gotta go. Cause y'all motherfuckers is not getting away without me shooting at y'all ass in the middle of the damn road at night. I love her. She's a fucking queen.
You can't fuck with Queen Bee. Queen Bee. Queen Bee.
This was her prep work for Watchmen, because there was a scene very much like this in Watchmen where they tried to roll up to her crib and she was like, let's get it. Let's get it. So now the police are all over her place. Janilla is safe. I do have to give Sammy, like, he really did. He was the one that really was pushing for Janilla. He really cared about her. When he was upset with her because he's concerned. He's all over the place. Like, where's Janilla? Where she's at, let's go. And he kind of became a parent. She was like, well, stay close. Why? Because I said so. Even though he doesn't have children, he kind of became very parental in that respect. And even when you're concerned, you're not mad at him, but it feels like you're mad, but you could really be concerned. So, yeah, he's very pissed to learn now that they attacked a detective's house. Now Janilla can go and they have the money to put her in protective custody. Great. The U.S. Marshals are on their way and Janilla is taken away from everything she ever will know until she testifies. That sucks. That sucks all the way for her and her life. We have a montage of everything ending for the most part. John, his whole plans for the weekend was to build a wall around his garden with one Caesar. We don't know what Caesar's relationship is with John, but the way he just took that beer out of his hand, we can guess that it's fairly close.
Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light.
I think that pretty much covers all of the basis of this episode. Thought it was very strong first season. I was really upset when I wasn't sure if I was going to get a season 2. But in this case, they did give us a season 2 on NBC, which is 6 episodes long, which is not a whole lot of time to develop a whole lot. But yeah, I'm so glad TNT picked up this show for 3 more seasons, because they really were just getting started. It would have been a shame if they had to end there. We do have feedback from Queen Shy, so let's hear how she felt about this finale.
Hey Christina, it's me, Shy. I am here. I am back to give my feedback for Southland episode 7. I missed out on episode 6, so I am raring to go to give my thoughts. I am back this weekend. I'm feeling excited because I'm feeling accomplished because I had good reason for not being available last weekend, but I still felt out of sorts, but I needed it. It was just, like I said, I had to get my bearings. There was a lot going on with my youngest, and I needed a minute to process everything and to just be all right in my head. And I tell you, this episode just brought me back to just certain things in regards to just dealing with teenagers. And it's like the frustration, the stress of dealing with teenagers and their decision making, and the fact that you just want to choke them sometimes, and you just want to hug them sometimes, and you just want to, and you wonder what they're thinking. But then you go back to when you were a teenager. But I will say that for the most part, I was a pretty grounded kid. I didn't get in trouble. I did the right thing. I was so focused. I was just a miniature version of myself, who I am today, in regards to I just had this mindset that I wanted to be someone, and I wanted to be successful and independent and all this stuff. And so I don't know, I came from a different time, so where episodes like this one just frustrates me, and it just but also reminds me of a little bit of the frustrations I dealing with my youngest, that I didn't do as much with my older two. But anyway, as far as this episode, there's some things I did like about it, and just in general. But overall, it was another frustrating episode. And I think, at the end of the day, if an episode gets a strong reaction out of you, then I guess it's doing its job, whether that's good or bad. I don't know. I guess people will take it. As long as it keeps you coming back to watch more, I suppose. I'm trying not to be judgmental when it comes to Janilla. I heard what you said in an earlier podcast when I was giving my thoughts, but at the same time, I guess, I'm not saying she needs to be like street savvy, but also it's like, I don't think you need to be an adult to understand the severity of the situation you're in. She's 15. She's in high school. I think there should be some love. And I understand that she's being raised by her grandmother, and that peer influence. I get all of that. But at the same time, and the image, body image, self-esteem, self-worth, get all that too, and how that plays a role in the decisions that you make. But also, it just doesn't seem like she's grasping the concept that she's in danger, that she can be killed, and all this stuff. She keeps making these decisions, and this is after her grandmother is shot and I'm sure almost died. I mean, I thought she was dead. So they really be making you think one thing, but then they end up surviving. So just like that kid, the kid that she's witnessed. No, he died. He was just shot. Yeah, he ended up surviving. But I mean, I don't know, this thing turned into a thing. I'm like, dang, it's got Marta. I mean, how did it go? It just went from this like almost like a mafia type thing, when it started out seeming like a gang banging situation. Now it's like you got this head person in charge of this. And it's like, wow, this thing has gotten more extravagant as we moved along. So I guess it's as a parent, I just wish that she could have some more wherewithal of the situation, of the danger she's in, and just take some precaution. I mean, I get you have these desires and you have these insecurities, but at the same time, your life is in danger. I mean, it's very clear at this point. We saw her, the grandmother's house got shot up, and then we saw all the other situations. Then we got Kimmy, I forget the detective's name, his daughter just acting a plumb fool, and I get that too. It's just when you see these teenagers, at least for me, I just get a level of cringe and frustration because it's so frustrating. Teenagers are just the worst, man. I'm telling you, because Kimmy was annoying the hell out of me, and I'm like the mom, and I'm like I just can't be that mom, because there's no way that I'm going to be just that blasé about the things my kids are doing. I know we want them to be independent and all that stuff, but at the same time, they got to earn trust. And last time I checked, she was doing stuff she wasn't supposed to be doing and hasn't earned anything. Then we have the Karen of the day, the chicken nugget lady. And I'm like, she's talking about she's been coming there for 15 years. Every day? You've been eating there every day? Chicken nuggets? That's not healthy. Anyways, I'm like, really, ma'am? Okay. Then we got Tammy and Sammy. I already told you about my feelings about them. It hasn't changed. I just wish we got less of that, because it's becoming like ridiculous. Then we got Chickie and Dewey. This was the most ridiculous couple of scenes of them. I'm like, I just the stupidity that came from these scenes is just unbelievable. I'm like, these are police officers that's supposed to be protecting and serving, and they can't even get out of their own way. I'm like, Chickie, she annoys me. She does. I mean, she's just so whiny and sounds so helpless. Stop it, Dewey. Stop it. And then it's like, why would you leave? Why would you go sit in the back seat, leave the keys in the car of someone that you know is unpredictable and is drunk? Why would you do that? It's like, at least, common sense. Like, at least do that. At least, yeah, sit there and wait for the sergeant, but take the keys out the car. Why are you sitting in the back seat while he's still in the driver's seat with the keys in the car? What the hell do you think was going to happen? Dude is not right in the head. I don't even know why he's still on active duty, why he's still a cop. I don't get that. I just don't get that part. Anyway, that's the most ridiculous part, in my opinion. And then again, the whole stop the car. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that whole thing I just want to, I just could not. And so they finally, after how many times attempted attempts on her life, they finally get Janilla in witness protection. And it's like, I mean, how many times? So it took a detective's life being endangered in order to finally take some action. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, they shot up the grandmother's house. They shot at her at the courthouse. This is the third time that they've shot at her. And I hope that, oh my God, I just can't. So yeah, these are my thoughts of this episode. Again, a lot of it, maybe the Janilla and Kimmy stuff just threw me off. I mean, it was already frustrating me, annoying me, their decision making. And I know they're teenagers and they're going to do teenage things, but that doesn't mean it's any less annoying. Understanding that and, trying to empathize with all of that is just it's a lot. I just wish Janilla was a little bit more, but then again, we got grown behind Chickie that ain't using common sense either. But on that note, until next time, much love, peace, and Black Girl Magic. Queen of the Couch, Shy.
That was Queen Shy with her thoughts on the episode. So I get what you're saying. I mean, it definitely sounds like it triggered the shit out of you. I'm not laughing because I just got a teenager. I'm sure I'll be there at one point. I was laughing, but what I'm saying is I'm laughing because I could tell that it was triggering into overflow, into the real life thing. And I get what you're saying too, and I think what you said at the top of it makes all the more sense. You're like, I was the sensible one. I had a goal. I had things. Yeah, that's rare. That's not everybody. That's also why you had the career that you did. It's why you have the career that you did. It's why you went into the military, because you had a discipline at that age that a lot of people just don't have. I feel like I was a fairly grown up teenager. Doesn't mean I didn't do dumb stuff. Especially when it came to my safety, and I was 18. That 18 to 21 phase, shit. I mean, it's not just when they're teenagers. You can shelter your kid your whole fucking life. My mama did. And then your ass get out there at 18, between 18 and 21, and then your eyeballs are open like, yeah, now I can do what I want to do. And now I'm doing it to an extent and being all type of reckless because I've been on a leash for so long. It's a process. It's something everybody goes through, though. It's meant to be frustrating. It's meant to be irrational, as you pointed out, as I was pointing out earlier. That's just how it is. I mean, we can always want to do better and want people to do better, but I also can understand just being your brain's just not going that way because it's not really wired to. It's not really supposed to be wired to. So those ones that can really push through that, yeah, that you got a lot of points. But that is just simply not the case for a lot of people. And then not only that, I think that sometimes it's kind of hard, right? Where do you let them make those mistakes, and when do you stop trying to, I'm not blasé, but at the same time, it's like, how much power do I have? And then juxtaposed to how much power they're going to have in whatever point of time they're going to have it. So it's kind of like, the other day I started talking to my daughter, and like halfway off, I cut myself off because I'm like, I'm going into a lecture, into a rant. And I know how I feel when lectures and rants come into my head when I was a kid. That shit, like, the more you go on and on and on and on and on, the more you're just pissing them off. And it's like, yeah, you're supposed to, but how much of that is for you and how much of it is for them? And how much, yeah, it's such a balancing act with teenagers. It really is. And it can be very frustrating. I totally agree. Getting my medication bumped up this weekend because I'm like, ooh, my potions is getting thin. But it is just part of me where it's like, yeah, I pick and choose a lot of the battles because I know a lot of them are just, they're going to keep coming. And I have to think. I'm very 3D in that way, though. That's my thinking. My thinking's always been very 3D in that capacity. But also, I don't want to beat a dead horse. As I stated earlier, I really can't put myself back there in that 15-year-old mind frame, or 16 or 17. I wasn't even thinking about Janilla's and her weight and all that. I was just thinking about boys and how they get up in your ear with a girl And that's exactly what he did. That's what Nate was trying to say in the car. Like, what did he say? What did he say? He got you out. He lured her out. And although it's not the best thing for her, she's lonely. She's lonely. She's around a whole bunch of white folks. Nothing but police. And at that point, you fuck up. But I think that at the end, I think she finally got it when she was being rolled away and nobody around her. And it's actually sad. It's sad. Because she's doing the right thing. She ain't gotta do this. She doesn't have to go to the police. She can say fuck it. But even if she said fuck it, she still would be a target. So, I mean, her whole situation, I just felt bad for her. Thanks to you for bringing up the Nugget situation. I forgot about that. That shit was hilarious. And then I love the way he got up in her face. Like, no, you gonna calm the fuck right down. And then she shut the fuck up. She had nothing else to say. Like, you can yell and scream and be a Karen all you want to. Or you could get the fuck, like, no, I'm not dealing with this. And then Bing will be like, have you tried the fish sandwich meal? And then that other guy that's like, my car broke down. I have an appointment. I need a ride to work. Like, this isn't a taxi service. Not only that, you saw a taxi right across the street. Like, come on, dude. Come on. That's just white privilege. And you know they be doing that shit. You know they be doing that shit. I've had people, they like, that's why we have Karen laws, and some people need to put that shit statewide, all 50 states. Because this is 2009, we dealing with this shit. And y'all was bringing this to our attention. As far as everything else, you know, the Dewey and yeah, I get what you're saying around Chickie, but I also understand what it's like for a female police officer. Well, maybe you have a lot more experience with that, but from what I hear, being a female police officer and, you know, like even with everyone else, they're like, we don't like this person, but it's the blue line. Like, why does he still have a job? Clearly he's been covered for so long, and see people who have issues like homeboy with his back, even though it hasn't interfered with his job yet. It's like, I can't throw stones when I live in a glass house. So as long as it doesn't interfere with anything, it feels as if at this point it has gotten to a point that is where it's at. Like, it was something that maybe he was kind of a casual alcoholic, but now it's gotten to the point where he's just not even trying. And that's where her thing, I mean, being helpless to another officer's erratic behavior, I don't know if I can, what else are you going to do to say stop it? Maybe you'll like how the actress said it. But I don't think there's much you could do except try to persuade the person in the front seat to stop what they're doing. And I will say, as much as you want to say in hindsight's always that thing, right? But no, I don't think I would sit in there. I'm going to call my superior officer and I would expect the person next to me to just steal the vehicle and go on a wild goose chase. No, that wouldn't have crossed my mind. I would have said, okay, he knows he's caught. He knows he's done. The people are on the way to get him. You know, it's done. It's finished. I've done what I'm supposed to do. What he did was out of pocket and not to be expected whatsoever. Now, leaving your keys in the car, I know police officers that do that. I think they're supposed to. I don't fully, I'm not going to put that in metal, but I didn't even think of that part. I just thought about the whole situation being off the chain. Like, that's not a reaction I don't think anyone should just be expecting to occur. Because that's some dumbass shit. That's some, you just ruined, like, you could have been on the news dumbass shit. It's like, yeah, drunks typically aren't always erratic and crazy. And especially as how much he was drinking, shit. But I guess they are, because drunk driving is the thing. But yeah, no, yeah. I get what you're saying. So that is all of the thoughts on the episode. And yeah, I didn't take it to Kimmy. I felt like Kimmy was just being Kimmy. And the fact that she didn't say shit about her dad's affair the entire time actually told me she was way more mature then I think that was good. I think if he would stop pushing, she would have stopped doing, like, you have to at least, like, sexting. Oh my God, you were sexting. And, like, that's not a big deal to me. Oh, you're going to a rave. Okay, y'all gotta you gotta be smarter. Like, shit, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go to that rave. I'm gonna be at that rave. I'm in a cut the whole night. You ain't gonna know I'm there. You ain't gonna know I'm there. I'm gonna take pictures and shit. Then I'm gonna wait till you come home, and they're like, how was your friend's house? Some psychological warfare on they shit to make them really question they next time that they gonna lie to you. I'm just being silly. But yeah, I think you're right in the sense of at least they get your reaction. At least they get the reaction. You have a reaction because you understand. You understand, and it touches on real life stuff. If you want to send feedback for our next episode, blackgirlcouch@gmail.com. You can leave a comment below on this podcast. My social media will be there as well. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until the next time, peace, hair grease, and black girl magic.